low level foundation. From based upon on the top of that, we have built many things. So that one is libraries, Android runtime, application framework, and applications. Okay, so all these are built on the top of the Android. Okay, it is not Android, on the Linux kernel that we have discussed one by one. So what are all the functionalities we have inside each and every frame? That is each and every block we discussed. Okay, so just hold on a minute. Just I'll start the recording. I forgot to record. Already it is in recording only. Okay, no problem. Okay, so and then we discussed the Linux kernel is the first part, and then Android runtime. In that we seen two different category. What is meant by Android runtime, core libraries, and in that terminology we discussed an API level. So that says the version of Android. So that we have discussed, and we also seen the ahead time compilation, just-in-time compilation, and optimized garbage collection. All these parameters we discussed, and also we discussed an important thing as the DEX bytecode, the DEX. Okay, the DEX files. So we discussed regarding the DEX bytecode and files, and then we discussed the Java API framework. Okay, and then the system apps which it supports. Some of the apps that comes along with the OS itself. And apart from that, we also install some third-party applications. Okay, that is different. And these are the apps that comes with the OS itself. And then we discuss the native C, C++ libraries. Okay, so this part we have discussed. And then the hardware abstraction layer, HAL. So this can be interfaced with the help of the that application framework. With the help of that, we'll be communicating with each other. Okay. And in today's class, we'll discuss regarding the Android versions. Okay, so I don't want to spend much time on this Android versions. I'll be quickly saying what is that, what is this. You might know this much familiar enough. Even though just it is in the syllabus, I'll be discussing what is this Android version. Okay, so the Google provides a major incremental upgrades to the Android operating system using the confectionery themed names. Okay, so whenever there is a major update, so they will be saying it as an version. Okay, if it is minor update, so it will be marked as, for example, if you see here, if it is a minor one, it is 1.0, it is 1.1. Actually this should be shifted one cell to the right hand side. Now a small mistake here. So version 1.1 should come here, and the date should come here, and the API level should come here. Okay, so whenever there is a small changes, we'll call it as 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, like that. Whenever a major changes happens, so at that time there will be revision with the version, that is it starts with 2 now. Okay, so 1.0, 1.1, and then 1.5, 1.6, all these are the different versions. Okay, and this version, that is the 1.5, they call it as the cupcake, and then 1.6 donut, and then 2.0, 2.1 eclair. Okay, and here it is parallelly given when it was released and what is that API level for that particular version, what is the API level. Okay, so this will help you to decide whether my apps will support, based upon the API level, will come to know whether that particular functionality will be supported in that particular application or not. Okay, for that we'll come to know this. And the next one is 2.2, 2.2.3 is the Frio. In 2010 it was introduced, and API is 8. Gingerbread, home, honeycomb, ice cream sandwich, and then jelly bean, Kit Kat, lollipop, all this. But the thing is, what is the versions you need to just know. Okay, if it is jelly bean, it is 4.1 to 4.3. If it is Kit Kat, 4.4 to 4.4.4. And this lollipop, it is 5.0 to 5.1.1, like that. You need to remember, and sometimes when we program, there itself they will list out. So for which API level we can select from that also. Either we can remember the API level or the version. Anyone we can choose. Okay, and the marshmallow, nougat, Oreo. Okay, all these Now we talk about the Android 10 and Android 11. So Android 10, it is now we call it as Q. Android Q is the Android 10. Okay, and in between you have the one thing called as Android 9. So that we call it as Android Pie. or you could see here, it is Android 9 is nothing but Android 5, and Android 10 is nothing but it is Android Q. Okay, and now they have released the Android 10 plus version, so we can also call that as 11. So if you see the website of them, it will be mentioned as Android 10 plus. So it is nothing but Android 11, we can say. Okay, so these are all the quick view of Android versions. Okay, when it was released, what are their equivalent API level? Okay, I think we might not have no doubt regarding this topic. So we'll move on to the next one. So the next one, what we are going to discuss here is we are going to just compare the each versions of Android with its features added in each versions. It is just an intro, just an something additionally we are going to learn. In each and every versions, we say that there is a major revision has happened. So what kind of revision that has been happened, and for that there is a change in the version. Okay. For example, if I take the actually speaking, we can come from the bottom from the first version to 10th version, because but have we ordered here from the 10th version to first version, because now we are familiar enough, more thing we might have known this. So I've started making it from the 10th version. Okay, I'm not going to touch upon all those parameters, just you can see if it is Android 10. Okay, so the version name it is, we call it as Android Q here, and the key features that is added in this Android 10. What is the major Q features which has been added, that is key features. So it has a better privacy support is been added, some security features is been added. So require permission to access location or files in the background. Even at the background, it could able to perform. Okay, so it limit access to unique device identifiers. There are some restrictions happening that it has been provided here, and access system security system settings directly from apps using the floating panel, and then some audio codecs, video and audio codecs that it supports. Okay, here we have both audio as well as video codecs, AV1, HDR10 plus, and Opus. Opus is a this audio codec, and this is the audio codec. This is the video. HDR10 plus is the video codecs. Okay, and AVR1 is also again the it is. I think just I'm not exactly. This AVR1 is again. So again, it is a free video coding only again. So AV1 is nothing but again it is a free video coding format designed for video transmission over the internet. Okay, so it is been a free version here actually. Okay, it is the what to say, it is a supplementary or the replacement of Dolby, we can say. So their format is paid one, but for the replacement they have introduced called a concept called AV1, which is open source. It is a royalty free video. Okay, but where we use in that case, that is Dolby, we need to pay amount, and then we need to access the resources. Here it is entirely free. Okay, and similarly HDR. So it is a high definition range video technology, HDR10. Okay, so these were the conventional and the HDR10 plus. Just a simple snapshot. Just I thought of showing you. So how the conventional picture would look like. That is, since we're dealing with video, it is a conventional video, and how the HDR10 plus video will look like. There are many videos available, but I took one video to just to explain you the concept. So if you want to know the background details of its working, how the conventional and how the HDR10 plus would be working. So it is the simple and the most major example is they work on static tone mapping. Here it is working on the dynamic tone mapping. So all these steps we don't need, just for understanding. I'm showing you all this. In the conventional method, conventional is before HDR10 it was introduced. They used the static tone mapping, and now it is the dynamic tone mapping where you could see the enhancement in the visual imaging. Okay, so that is the difference between the previous case and the next case. And next comes the Opus file format, I said, so it is again an audio file which is okay, which is called which is also called as the OG Opus. Okay, it is an audio format developed for internet streaming. This can be used in the VLC players too. We can this Opus file is supported in VLC player. We can also use this for live videos, that is live the audio streaming. Okay, this Opus file format. Okay, so these are the some of the advancement that you could see in the Android 10. Okay, it was released in the year 2019 September 3. and its current API level is 29. Okay, if you select 29, where you could see all these facility that it will support. Okay, your application will be capable enough to support all these parameters. So when you are going to develop some advanced application, so some case if you are going to work with some media player and your media player has to support such kind of HDR and AV1 Opus, everything has to support. So if and you can't go for choosing API level 28. If you go for choosing this API level 28, these features you cannot use. So at that time, what you need to do? You need to set your API level as 29. At that time only, you can use all these features in your application development. So for that only, you should know what should be my API level, if what kind of features is added in that particular API level, so that my apps will gain the benefit of the features which is available in that. Okay, like that you need to decide first. Okay, and then you need to choose your API. Okay, so for that only we need to know the key features which is available in the individual versions of Android. Okay. So basically, when we go for programming, what we usually do is we will always set the basic. So whenever you create an application, you should choose a minimum API level, like from Lollipop, that is at least version 5. Okay, otherwise your application will not be able to get installed in the majority of people's smartphones. Okay, so most people will be using their smartphone for 3 years or 4 years. Even many people of you may be using the smartphone for the past 3 years, the same mobile without changing anything. There might be some update in the OS, that is something different, but maybe for 1 year they might have given the update. You might be purchasing you purchased your mobile maybe 3 years before. They may give only one update or two update. It means that either you may switch from version 6 to version 7 or version 7 to version 8. That's it. After that, there might not be any update. But they have came up to Android 11 now. Okay, so same way, many people might be working with Android 5 or Android 4. So you should decide some base level of API. So from that level till the advanced one, till now, all the Android users, my application should support. If you are going to develop a game or if you are going to develop an educational application, whatever it is, okay, whoever use it, from Android 5 up to Android 11, if the Android 11 is the current version, till Android 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all these versions my application should support. So you should select the equivalent API level for, so for example, if it is Android, let us take if it is Android 5, if it is Android 5, so at least I should take 20 or 21 should be my minimal API level. Before you start developing your Android application, your minimum API should be either 20. So if it is Android 5.0, it is 21. Okay, so either 20 or 21 you should fix. So like that. So you no need to worry about the versions which are less than 20, API level 20. Why? Because it came in 2014 or 2013. So we know that only minimal amount of people might be using for a smartphone more than 5 to 7 years. So no need to worry about that. So if you want to further worry about that, you need to reduce the API level like 19, 18, something like that. Okay, so that is what the thing which you need to learn from this particular particular chart or the particular table. Okay, and coming to the next one is Android 9. Android 9 is the version name is Pi. Okay, here we have some of the user interface updates and rounded corner across the UI, the quick setting menu change. So like that, we have multiple features. Okay, so you can just read out all those features because I don't think it is that much important for our understanding, because when you read itself, you can easily understand. I don't want to read one by one and then keep on explaining you. Since because this is something new, I have said you what is AV1, HDR, 10, and Opus, and the rest of the things might be you might be using day-to-day life. Okay, so coming to the Android 8, it is Oreo. Okay, so here they introduce a concept called the Go edition. Where they introduced a concept called, in this Go edition is under the developer mode. It is not for the general use. It is under the developer edition. So might be they might be testing with some low memory devices. For that, they have introduced a concept called Go edition, with which the devices less than 1 GB also can be tested with this kind of applications. Okay, and then Android 8 is Oreo. It is picture in picture with resizable windows, lock screen redesign. Something has been introduced. Okay, And then Android 7 comes with battery usage alerts. Okay, like that, many options are available. You go through once again, slowly, whenever you find time. Okay, so that you'll understand the improvement in each and every versions. Okay, so this is about the Android 7, 7.0, 6.0, like that. Here, if we come to the Android 6, where you could find the compatibility of USB Type C support. It is available at Android 6. Even you can see Android 5.0 only, you started a multi SIM support. Okay, you might have the hardware. Your hardware might support multiple SIM. Even for 4 SIM, it may support your mobile, but your software is capable enough to work with that multiple SIM only with Android 5.1. So before that, you may have the SIM, but you will not have the call waiting or so on so functionalities. Okay, so like that, you may have multiple difficulties with the software side, not with the hardware side. Your hardware is much faster, growing much faster. But what about the software? It is not growing as much fast as the hardware is growing. Okay, so you may have the multiple SIM even at 2010 or 11, 12, but the support came only at the year 2015. The support for multiple SIM came only by 2015 software. Okay, so like that, you need to find out the equivalents Android versions and then the improvements which is made in that. Okay, so here and all, that is not much something new. Just you can screen recording at 4.4, and at 4.4 they have started implementing the screen recording. Okay, and Android 4.3 they have 4K resolution support. 4K support is implemented here. Okay, so we have all this. I'll share you the PPT so that you can take the content. Okay, since I was a little bit doing some modifications, I was unable to update you the PPT in Google Classroom, but I daily update you the videos. That is the YouTube, not YouTube, the regular class videos in my Google Classroom, so that you can also view it later by mentioning the day and time with the topic. I am uploading it there so that you can take. Okay, and the face unlock is been introduced in Android for 4.0.1. So face recognition, face unlock. Okay, but this concept might be earlier, but they introduced at this particular time. Okay, so like that, Android 3, Android 2. Okay, there are many versions are available. Okay, okay, okay. So all these are the different versions. This was the last one, I think. This Android 0.9 in 2009 August. Okay, sorry, 2008 August. So all these are the different features which are available in the individual versions. And when it was released, what was its equivalent API level? Okay, this is one of the topic which is in our syllabus. So they may ask the highlighting features. In your question, you may also expect some highlighting features of each and every versions of Android. Maybe you can group Android 1, Android 2, Android 3, Android 4, Android 5, like that. You may highlight some of the important parameters or important notifications which has been evolved in that particular versions of Android, like that. So just remembering all these is very much tough. Even I know the difficulty. So at least you combine some 4 to 5. Okay, 4 to 5. For example, if it is 1.0, 1.1, 1.5, 1.6 until 2, until version 2, you can commonly write, okay, all these are the improvements in Android 1, version number 1, or version number 1.0 to 1.6. Coming to version number 2.0 to up to where it ends, like that. Just you can accumulate it entirely, and then we can give a common features of the particular versions, like that. So it is very difficult to recollect all these and write in the exam point of view. So that you make in that sense, you prepare, try to prepare in that way, so that it might be somewhat more easier. Since it is for teaching purpose, I used it in this form. You reorder it and then you try to learn. Okay, so that it might be easy. And the next topic would be the Android runtime. Okay, the next concept we are going to discuss is Android runtime. It is one of the most important concept in this Android. Okay, so the Android runtime is the system that runs you compiled code on a Android device. Just understand it is a compiled code. So when you say it is a compiled code, yesterday we discussed what is a compiled code. Okay, I hope you could remember this. The compile code we see in this. Okay, even I shown you a different example by yesterday's class. If I show this example, definitely you may recollect. I shown you this example. Some Java source files will be coming into Jack, and Jack library will be combined. Finally, it will produce you the text files I shown. Even I shown this as an example. Comparison between a jar as well as an APK. What you have inside an APK and what you have inside a jar. Inside a jar, you will have multiple classes. Same way, inside the APK, you may have multiple .dex files. Okay, so this I have shown you last class. I hope you could remember. Okay, so the same thing which is in the different format. Okay, the same thing which is shown in the different file format here. Just we'll discuss now. Okay, so it first second point, it first appeared on Android, which the release of KitKat have become the standard way of running the code in Lollipop. So yeah, the Android runtime is designed to run your compiled Android apps quickly and efficiently on a small low powered devices. Okay, and is Android runtime different from JVM? You know what is meant by JVM? Just now I shown you in the Word document. We have a comparison between a class file as well as an APK file. Okay, so JVM is Java Virtual Machine. That we'll discuss with the Java. Coming to Java. So what happens here? The Java code is being converted into bytecodes. That we call it as the dot class file. That we call it as dot class file. The same way, this is for Java. And coming to the Android, so here also we'll write the Java coding. It will get converted into class, and further these classes will again will be converted into dex file. Okay, from this dex file only we'll be generating some APK files. Okay, so this classes, the build process stretches all the class files into a single classes.dex file. For that, I shown you the example by yesterday's class itself. Just now also shown. You'll have the APK. Inside APK, you'll have multiple decks. You'll have multiple decks. Inside every deck, you'll have some classes inbuilt. By combining all this desk, we'll call it as APK. Okay. So this is what we call it as Android runtime. So this part. Okay. So the art is very different. So when you compile an Android application, everything starts in the same way, and you write a dot Java source file and compile them into class file.